The English teachers of Pangasinan School of Arts and Trades know the value of being able to read. Thus, the school supports the school's Division Office 1 Pangasinan in its campaign to lessen or totally eradicate the number of non-readers in every school through its PrEP. PrEP is short for PSAT's Reading Enhancement Program and was crafted following the guidelines of the SDO1 Pangasinan's Reading Brigade, with the theme Persistency for Reading Literacy in the New Normal. PSAT's Reading Enhancement Program implementation for school year 2020-2021. In compliance with Division Memorandum Number M-2020-285, dated October 16, 2020, about the conduct of Reading Brigade for non-readers, the English Department facilitated the said reading program. This reading program aimed to: first, identify learners who are non-readers or non-decoders in English. Second, align programs, projects, and activities to the assessed needs. Next one, we have implement need-based intervention. And lastly, give awards to the best reading performers. PSAT's Reading Enhancement Program in the New Normal revolves around the objective of helping all of our at-risk students improve their reading skills using reading videos and home reading visitations using the English Reading Kit. By the end of the year, the students will have at least double their reading speed and will have improved their reading skills by 1 to 2 grade levels. The PrEP in the New Normal program is based on the Phil Erie and the Reading Brigade for Non-Readers program of DepEd. PSAT's English teachers guided the learners to read using various English reading materials while coping with the learners' reading difficulties and boosting and establishing their reading confidence in recognizing sounds, word blending, word meaning, and comprehension. We conducted e-reading and facilitated the use of the English Reading Kit through home reading visitations. Along with these, we have given tokens to those improved readers. Are our reading teachers per grade level. Grade 7, Imelda Espadama, Gretchen A. Dumalanta, Daniel Alexis C. Maron, and Maricris D. Trinidad. Grade 8, Argentina P. Aviles, Jeneline B. Arieta, Jonalyn M. Casipit, and Joan G. Changson. Grade 9, Marian D. Melchor, Pershaline V. Belen, and Rhea Christy P. Sindayen. Lastly, for grade 10, Minalyn O. Garce, Grace Shalalaine B. Gumapos, and Sonia A. Aquino. Reading PSDS, Dr. Catherine B. Operaña. Reading Principal, Maria Teresa S. Aquino, Principal 3. Reading Department Head, Mary Ann S. Reyes, Head Teacher 3. And our reading coordinators, Marian D. Melchor, Fershalin B. Bilen, Sonia A. Aquino.
My Father Goes to Court by Carlos Bulasan.
In the island of Luzon, there lived a poor but happy family. The children were always playing and bathing in a cold river. They had a very rich neighbor with 2 children who were not allowed to play outside of their house. The rich man's servant usually cooked special foods.
The children of the poor family just smelled the yummy aroma of the food from their rich neighbor. They enjoyed doing it every day until they got strong and healthy, while their rich man's children got pale and thin. One day, the rich man filed a case against the father of the poor family for stealing the spirits of his food and wealth. They all went to court. The father had no lawyer with him, while the rich man had.
When the judge asked about the truth of the charge, the actor said yes to smelling the aroma of the rich man's food, but not to stealing his wealth.
The father, with a hat full of coins, asked permission from the judge to have the tinkling of the coins heard by the rich man.
The father asked if the rich man heard the spirit of the money, which the latter said yes. The father then said that the charge was paid. The judge smiled and pounded his gavel and said that the case was dismissed.
Sadness by Confucius.
The sun is ever full and bright. The pale moon waneth night by night. Why should this be?
My heart that once was full of light is but a dying moon tonight.
But when I dream of thee apart, I would the dawn might left my heart, O sun, to thee.
The sun is ever full and bright. The pale moon waneth night by night. Why should this be?
My heart that once was full of light, it's but a dying moon tonight.
When I dream of the thee apart, I would the down might left my heart, O sun, the day.
The Telephone by Edward Field. My happiness depends on an electric appliance, and I didn't mind giving it so much credit. With life in the city being what it is,
each person separated from friends by a tangle of subways and buses.
Yes, my telephone is my joy. It tells me that I am in the world and wanted. It rings and I am alerted to love or gossip.
I go comb my hair, which begins to sparkle. Without it, I was like a bear in a cave.
Cruising through a shadowy winter, it rings and spring has come. I stretch and amble out into the sunshine.
Hungry again as I pick up the receiver for the human voice and the good news of friends.
My happiness depends on an electric appliance, and I do not mind giving it so much credit. With life in this city being what it is, each person separated from friends
by a tangle of subways and buses. Yes, my telephone is my joy. It tells me that I am in the world and wanted. It rings and I am allergic to love and gossip.
I go comb my hair which begins to sparkle. Without it, I was like a bear in a cave, drowsing through a shadowy winter. It rings in spring has come.
I stretch and amble out into the sunshine, hungry again as I pick up the receiver for the human voice and the good news of friends.
Orpheus by Alice Lowe. There were 9 goddesses called Muses, born out of Zeus and a titan named Mnemosyne. Each muse presided over different art or science. Calliope, one of these sisters, was the inspiration of poets and musicians. She was the mother of Orpheus, immortal because his father was one, and gave to her son a remarkable talent for music.
Orpheus played his lyre so sweetly that it charmed all things on earth. Men and women forgot their cares when they gathered around him to listen. Wild beasts lay down as they gathered around him as if they were tame, entranced by his soothing notes. Even rocks and trees followed him, and the rivers changed their direction to hear him to play.
Orpheus loves a young woman named Eurydice, and when they were married, they looked forward to many years of happiness together. But soon after, Eurydice stepped on a poisonous snake and died.
Orpheus roamed the earth, singing sad melodies to try to overcome his grief, but it was no use. He longed for Eurydice so deeply that he decided to follow her to the underworld. He said to himself, "No mortal has ever been there before, but I must try to bring back my beloved Eurydice. I will charm Persephone and Hades with my music and win Eurydice's release."
He climbed into a cave and through a dark passage that led to the underworld. When he reached the river Styx, he plucked his lyre again. And Cerberus, the fierce three-headed dog who guarded the gates, heard the sweet music and lay still to let him pass.
Orpheus continued to play his lyre tenderly as he made his way through the gloomy underworld. The ghosts cried when they heard his sad music. Sisyphus, who had been condemned to roll uphill forever, stopped his fruitless work to listen. Tantalus, who had been sentenced to stand in a pool of receding water, stopped trying to quench his thirst, and even the wheel to which Exeunt was tied as punishment stopped turning for one moment.
At last, Orpheus came to the palace of Hades and Persephone, king and queen of the underworld. Before they could order him to leave, he began his gentle song pleading for Eurydice. When Eastern Hades heard Orpheus' song, he began to weep. Cold Persephone was so moved that for the first time in all her months in underworld, her heart melted.
"Oh, please, my husband," she said to Hades, "let Eurydice be reunited with Orpheus." And Hades replied, "I, too, feel the sadness of Orpheus. I cannot refuse him." They summoned Eurydice, and the two lovers clasped each other and turned to leave.
"Wait," said Hades to Orpheus. "Eurydice is yours to take back to Earth on one condition." "What is that?" asked Orpheus. "She must follow you, and you must not look back at her until you are on Earth again." "I understand," said Orpheus, "and I am forever grateful."
Orpheus and Eurydice left the underworld and made their way through the dark passage that led to the upper world. At last, they reached the cave through which Orpheus had descended. "I can see the isle ahead," called Orpheus to Eurydice. "We're almost there," but Eurydice had not heard him, and so she did not answer.
Orpheus turned to make sure that she was still following him. He caught one last glimpse of her arms stretched out to him, and then she disappeared, swallowed by darkness. "Farewell," he heard cry as she was carried back to the underworld.
Orpheus tried to follow her, but this time the gods would now allow it, and so he wandered the earth alone. He sang his sad songs to the trees and longed for the time when he, too, would die and be reunited with his beloved Eurydice in the underworld.
Live not alone. Today you must start out into the world in a year. Bring back the best things
You have found the
Okay.
uncle king. One day he said, I will not live long enough. Today we must start out.
Good job. Okay, good job.
World.
Bitin mo nga na. Best. Thing. In. Job. Tama. Want. Upon. Time. Hindi, okay na. There.
Pasensya kilo tadi. Ipirag mo pa may galon sunaya.
For. Brothers. Who. Away. Oh. Land. There.
For
Father was an old king. Lives.
And for away.
Away. Land. Rito mo na.
Land.
Their father. Dito mo there. Sorry po. Paano B again, Marian? Ang sound nito, muli kong bati, ay and then sound R, there. Again. This one. Sound of B. Huwag mo kakalimutan, anak, ha? Sound of E. Ang E, di ba yung sinunod sa'yo na pwedeng maging short sound X or long sound E. So this one, short sound. Big D. Pag pinag-combine mo, D. How are you going to read it? Ano ba basahin? Bed. Again. This one. Once. Upon. Time. There.
Itong mabasa.
Brothers. Who lived
in far work.
Away. Land. There. Father.
Was
an
old
king. Combine mo yung sound na.
Back. Back. Back.
Lakasan mo na ah.
Ito. Combine sound. Ball. Ulitin mo nga na. Ito. Kasi may desya na ako. Bakas mo lang. Nga na. Combine sound. There. Ito mo nga na.
There.